Hey everybody, Neil here, Tuesday morning at 11:22. Having some coffee. My boss brought back for me today, so I just wanted to share with you. Read this devotional this morning from the YouVersion Bible app. If you do not have it on your phone, check it out. It's so worth having. Jeremy, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Anyway, I was reading from a devotional Bible plan called Known, Finding Deep Friendships in a Shallow World. And one of the days talks about the grand design, and I just felt like this would be really good stuff to share. So I want to read it to you. This is not original thought of mine. You may see where I wander off into some thoughts of my own, but this is from the Bible plan Known. It's called the Grand Design. Consider how young children often greet a parent as mom or dad walks through the door after work. I like to call it a grand design move. And I remember it well from when my own kids were little. When I stepped through the door after a long day of work, my 3-year-old daughter Jenny would run to me, eyes sparkling and with a winning smile. Then she made her move. Arms high over her head, she hollered, "Up, Daddy!" And I dropped what I was holding and I reached for her. A dad never forgets the feel of a moment like that, the spontaneous closeness. Dads, moms, do you remember that? I sure do. I remember coming home at lunchtime or after work to Ella being home with Heidi and her just at the top of the stairs freaking out that Daddy was home. Before she could even talk, she was so excited. It's magic, pure magic. Anyway, he keeps writing, if I feel this way as an earthly father, how much more does our Heavenly Father revel in that move and that cry, "Up, Daddy, up." We're designed for that move. As we look up to God, it naturally leads us to looking over at each other. But we need to get that first part right. C.S. Lewis portrayed fallen man as bent. That is, he's looking down and therefore can't get life right. In a book called The Healing Presence, writer Leanne Payne writes, the unfallen position was, as it were, a vertical one, of standing up, erect, face turned up to God, in a listening, speaking relationship. It was a position of receiving continually one's true identity from God. That was the part that really kind of captured my thought. I'll read it again. The unfallen position was, as it were, a vertical one of standing erect, face turned up to God in a listening, speaking relationship. It was a position of receiving continually one's identity from true identity from God. To follow that metaphor, when we look down, we totally miss what we're designed for. It strikes me as ironic that we live in a time called the digital age, an age defined by looking down. Hundreds of millions of us all over the world looking down at our phones. And here I am on my phone, but I'm talking to you. Isn't it true when you think about where we look for our identity, and as we think about winning the war in our minds, how many of us are looking to what other people are saying about us, or about the world, or about the state of things? How many of us are looking to find what we should think from other people, what we should want and desire and want for our lives from other people? How many of us are not looking up, standing up straight? You think about people walking down the street, and I kind of laugh when I see it, but it's sad. We walk down the street with our heads down, not looking at each other, and definitely not looking up to God. Anyway, he says when we look to God, we begin to recognize that his true design for us is to first look at him and then toward one another. Life can corrode connectors and deplete energy, but the imprint remains. Beneath your skills, your gifts, and achievements is a grand design, and it is this: you are not created to be alone. In the grand design too, we are created to find our identity not in our accomplishments, not in our achievements, not in our gifts, even though they're God-given, not in our work, not even in our families, not in our friendships, not in our status, but in God alone. And so today, wherever you find yourself, it's a reminder for me, a reminder for us all, to look up, lift up our eyes to the hills, Psalm 21 tells us, to find where our true help comes from. Our help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth, and he is there for you today. And so I hope this short little thought, it really just kind of stuck with me about how we get our heads down. And let's lift up our eyes today. Let's look at him. And I hope you're doing well. Hope you're hanging in. And thanks for joining me today. Hope to see you. If you don't have a home church, we'd love to have you here on Sundays with us. We are open. Or check us out here on Sunday mornings. You can watch us live, Facebook and YouTube, all that stuff. Anyway, take care, guys. Much love. We'll talk to you later.